and get volume 2 because it comes with volume 1. You can't separate volume 1 from volume 2. You can buy volume 1 on its own, but it's better to get volume 2, which includes volume 1, and get it while I'm live for $222 versus $333, right? And so, you know, when you join DBA, unless I'm running a special offer where I am giving away a strategy session, and if you would be interested in that, let me know in the comments and I might make that offer. The more you interact with me, the more offers I will make. Okay. If you do that, then it, you know, it would include that, but that's the only way, right? If you don't take advantage of one of those offers, there's no strategy session. There's no, you know, like mentoring. There's no guidance, right? Not for the price point. That's what you have to understand. Like I said, the Build a Bomb brand module in volume 1, the creator of that, she was selling that for $1,000. I have the market where I could sell that for even $3,000. I say $2,000, but I could sell it for $25, $29, $29.97 based on my market and my audience. Right? I could sell that easily for $3,000, right? So with that being said, I could technically even price DBA at $3,000, right? Instead, you can get it while I'm live for only $222 if you get volume 2, because it's going to include volume 1, okay? So, you know, to get back to the question, here. More details, meaning how can I use DBA and make it work with what I currently know? I don't want to know everything or do everything. So my question would be to ask her, what does she know? Okay. So if somebody wants to chime in the comments, what do you know? I can tell you how I would strategize DBA. Okay. So tell me, what do you know, right? What do you know? That's the first question. What do you know? Okay. I'm going to tell her I'm on live. Ugh. I still have this old shortcut that comes up. Okay, so that's the first thing, is what do you know? If somebody wants to answer that in the comments, what do you know? Okay, what do you know? Right? So I have a friend who sells software as a service. So she knows that software really well. Okay, she knows that software really well. So if I were her, I would create content around what that software solves for her ideal client. Okay. And then every so often I would make a commercial for DBA. And why? Okay. Because there is a correlation between the software that she sells and DBA. Okay. Because people who are using this software, which is automations, they are internet trap setters, right? They are selling digital products in some way, shape, or form. They are building email lists. They are building customer lists. And so even if they are not selling digital products, they may be a prime candidate to purchase done-for-you products and resell them. Okay? Because not everybody has to go live and to resell. They can just simply send emails and do email series and collect leads, right? If you don't have the community, if you want to build, if you want to scale, then yeah, social media marketing is a great way to go about it. Okay, it's an excellent way to go about it. Okay, so that's why I say, what do you know? Okay, what do you know? Because it's going to depend on what you know. So say you're a stay-at-home mom, right? And you were able to potty train your 18-month-old, right? There are kids. Okay, so I'm a social media marketing manager and business consultant. So very similar to what I just said, Jen, regarding my friend who sells software as a service, right? So social media marketing manager. So what are some problems that your ideal clients face, okay? And what are problems that you don't necessarily want to deal with in what you do that may prepare them to be your customer, right? So for example, for me, I am a social media strategist, right? What I'm not going to do is create their content for them. I might outsource that for the right amount of money, right? So what I might do is give them content creation tips and tools and resources. And then I would talk to them about DBA being a great resource because why? There is a vault in there. You do all of it. Excellent, 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 excellent. I'm not poo-pooing it. I just know my strengths. And I do put out great content of my own. It's just I don't have the capacity to, because what I put into content, I don't have the capacity to do that for myself and other people. So I would, strategize and use things like AI generation. And so that you could even create content around that. How to use AI generative tools to create content, right? You can, give them AI prompts. And then you can, right, I get it, right? So you can, what are problems that they have, right? Because there's this idea that people are always running from something and running toward something. So you want to include that in your marketing, right? And so if they are running toward something but you don't start to hear, that gap in between is where your free content, your lead magnet should reside, right in that gap, right? So what is content that you can post that solves problems in this gap between where they are and where you want to take them to, right? There's a gap between if they're running from this and running toward this, right here, okay? In between these two is this, right? And so that gap is where you want to create content, and that content you want to send them to the DBA preview for your hardcore business CTA, your call to action. Okay, so I'll give you an example. In 2018, I created a course called Influence Booster. Okay, and so to launch Influence Booster, I did a week's worth of lives on Facebook every day. I would go live on Facebook. And I remember those lives. I actually still restream those lives. Okay. So one of them was about, 5 mistakes you're making with your Facebook marketing. Another of them, I remember I was out in the yard, another one was about picking my brain, right? And instead of picking my brain for free, because we don't do that over here, here are resources of mine that you can have, right? Here are mistakes you're making with video marketing, for example, okay? So that was the free content. And in that free content, I made the call to action several times to join me for a free 5-day video challenge, right? So the content was really around video, the fact that they needed to use video in their marketing. So how does that relate to 5 mistakes you're making with Facebook marketing? You're not going live, right? And if you want to learn how to go live and get comfortable going live, join me and my closest community members for 5 days, intimate in a private closed group. We are all going to go live together and support each other for 5 days and see what happens in your business. Okay, so are you following me so far? So I created content that took them from not being aware that they needed to use video in their marketing to having a call to action to drive them to a 5-day free challenge that was going to help them get more comfortable with video. Okay, and so then during that 5-day video challenge, every day there was an assignment. Okay, it was very clear cut. There was an assignment. And it was a micro taste, a sample of what it would be like to be an influence booster, because influence booster was 30 days of multiple assignments to build your influence online. So every day there was an assignment. And on Wednesday, so on Monday and Tuesday, I launched it on a Monday. So on Monday and Tuesday there were assignments, but they also were told in post that there would be a webinar on Wednesday. And that webinar was free, and it was a video marketing webinar. And I spelled out 3 to 5 objectives that they were going to walk away from during that webinar training. And the call to action from that webinar training presented and sold Influence Booster. Okay, so I'm not saying you have to go that specific with it with DBA, but what you see a lot of people do is they come online on TikTok, for example, and they create content that shows how to make designs on Canva, for example, right? Another thing you could do is you could teach people outlines, how to use ChatGPT prompts to outline your digital product, right? And then you can say, you know what? You want to know an easier way to do this? DBA. There is a vault inside of DBA of done for you DFY product that you can sell. You have the rights. You have the private label right to sell and market and brand as your own. So you don't even have to do all this stuff that I just taught you, right? But so I can give you that example because, again, I kind of have some overlap and have done that same type of business for many, many years now, right? So, the stay-at-home mom who potty trains her child at 18 months can share tips on potty training your child at 18 months. And then they can say, one of the things that allows my family to have me be a stay-at-home mom is I sell these done-for-you digital products. Want to buy some? No, not want to buy some. But then you can pivot and start the conversation about DBA, right? And you can share what you do with the money that you make from DBA, for example. Got to take the kids to the museum today. Right? If you live somewhere where there's a theme park, got to take the kids to the theme park today because of my digital products business. Got to go to lunch today, right? And you don't even always have to say go to lunch. You can just show yourself at lunch as B-roll and then put a nice strong hook on the content, right? The other day I came live and I talked about, someone asked the question about selecting trending and viral content. And I talked about how you want to retrofit it to make it fit your ideal client and your ideal audience. So if there's something trending right now, like, okay, so right now the whole Ballerina Farm Times interview is still trending. People are talking about that, right? So what you could do is you could show sympathy and empathy for her, because not a lot of people are. Right? If you're a stay-at-home mom, and you could talk about what you do as a mom to not be exhausted, how you get your partner to be involved and not exercise weaponized incompetence, right? So those are just some ideas. I think that's a great question, and thank you for volunteering in the comments with what it is that you do. If there's any other questions, y'all, please feel free to ask them in the comments. Yes, makes sense. Good, right? And it's going to be a lot of trial and error. You can also, that's not the only way you do it. You can also come on and you can give a preview. You can do a walkthrough. I've done that. That's how I made some of my first sales. You can do a walkthrough of DBA. Right? The reason I'm not doing it is TikTok doesn't really like me showing my computer screen too much or too often. And I didn't really come on here to sell DBA today, just to talk about, internet marketing and that, right? That's a strategy. Sometimes kind of take it away and don't talk about it and make people ask you and want it and inquire, right? Brooklyn is really good at that. Like, she'll talk about everything else, and then everybody in the comments will be talking about DBA, and then there'll be new people. They're like, wait, what is that? And then next thing you know, they go buy it. So there's a lot of different ways. The one thing I would encourage is that you just really learn to trust yourself and take your own guidance and do what you feel to do. Because that's one thing about me and my coaching style, is that I am not going to tell you in absolutes what you have to do. There are a few things that you do have to do, right? But I'm going to match up those few things with what your goals are, right? Like, if your goal is to make money in your sleep, you're going to need content or you're going to need ads. It's just one or the other, and sometimes both. So if you want to make money in your sleep, you got to do those things. If you want to make money if you want to be the internet trap house queen, you're going to need automations. What automations you choose and what level you take them to is entirely up to you. Those things are kind of non-negotiable. But outside of that, what my role as a mentor, as a coach, as a guide, is to help you with how to think. That's my Roman Empire, is how to think strategically. I always say my most money-making asset is my brain and how it operates. That is why so many people over the years have wanted to pick my brain. And that is how, my first strategy sessions were like $147 for 45 minutes. Now I do 90 minutes for $497. This weekend, I actually ran a special to customers who bought from me. I did a special where they could get 90 minutes for $297. So I gave them $200 off, right? So I do things like that. In fact, if you want a 90-minute strategy session to map out a plan on how to sell DBA and make it work for you, $297 while I'm live. Just DM me or text me at the link in my bio, and I will send you the link to do it for $200 off. Okay. Other things you can do to make your offer juicy is you can throw in bonuses. You can throw in, old courses or old training that that was really good, that would benefit. I think there's so much training already and so much resources in DBA. I wouldn't go that route. Some people will set up your store for you, because I don't use it. Three of the platforms that are trained in DBA, I don't offer that. Plus, again, I'm not really that girl to set up your store. That's just not really my Roman Empire. That's not what I bring to the table. Now, don't get me wrong. Clearly, KD had this question and she felt comfortable enough coming to me and asking me this. So I'm not one of those that you bought a course from me, don't ever talk to me type people. I was taking a genuine interest in her question because I'm going to do one of a few things. I'm going to create content and answer your question. I'm going to turn it into content. That's usually what I do. Okay. I might turn it into another course or program or offer. Right. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to shame you for it. And I'm not going to just treat you badly and make you regret ever trusting me and buying something from me. That's not me. That's not what I'm going to do. What I try to do is if I've been in this online marketing game for 10 years. I've been in marketing for over 32 years. I have a double master's degree in marketing and finance. Okay. I have a Spanish. I don't know why I always feel the need to tell y'all that, but hablo español, estudié para 12 años, era mi menor en la universidad, right? I speak Spanish fluently, okay? So, I'm not going to make you not ever want to buy from me again, because I understand that it's easier to sell to someone who's already bought from you than it is to sell to a stranger. So that is something I take very seriously, is customer service and taking care of my people. So one of the things I've learned online in marketing and just my overall business, sales, marketing, leadership way that I do things is I prefer to create tools rather than be the tool. Okay. So when someone comes to me to pick my brain, for example, this just happened to be a paying customer, I am going to ask questions so that I can direct them to a tool and resource that I already have. And if I get enough of the question asked the same time, the same question asked multiple times, then I'm going to create a new tool or resource. So last week, a question came up, and the answer was my, I keep calling it conversion catalyst checklist, but it's not. It was a tool that I created for a training that I've done and not put on my blog yet. I did it for a summit in April, and that was the trend hacking guide, right? How to select it, all about newsjacking is one of my favorite marketing tactics, right? It's where you take something that's trending in the news, like Ballerina Girl, and you create content, but you create content that fits your ideal client, but you fit Ballerina Girl into it so that you get more reach. But you're getting strategic reach. You're going to get further, I hate the word penetration, but you're going to reach more of your ideal client that overlaps with Ballerina Girl and be able to get in front of them. So you got to have some really good, solid content. And that's what that resource is all about. So I know there's been a lot of brouhaha, especially when it comes to DBA, because, let's face it, not everybody has the same level of accountability in life, let alone business. Were there people who may have marketed DBA incorrectly? Yeah, it's going to happen. It happens all the time. But I can tell you, I vetted DBA for weeks. It wasn't about the money. It was about vetting it to make sure that I was getting in with something that was legit and that I was not going to regret or tarnish my brand. Because both my legal name is a brand, along with Haute Chocolat, which is the name of this account. That is a lifestyle brand. Okay. So I didn't want to get involved with anything that was going to tarnish my brand. Okay. So I vetted it. So yeah, there are always going to be people that sell things and they do it without ethics or morals. That's just going to happen. There's nothing nobody can ever do to not do that, other than have in your terms and conditions and your operating agreement and all of that, very specific things and, the rules, right? And that is in DBA. That's why I always tell you to go to start here, right? So there were instances of people claiming, oh, I got banned and I just asked a question and I got banned. Well, you never went through DBA. You never went through it. So yeah, somebody's going to get frustrated when people keep asking questions where they created an entire module that answers all of that for you, and you refuse to go look at it and read it, right? So yes, there was some of that, but I'm explaining why that happened, right? Not that I even have to, but yeah, I wouldn't get involved with anything that didn't stand behind its product. Yes, DBA, there is a no refund policy, because you can't, once you download the stuff, is yours. There's nothing we can do about that, right? The Build a Bomb brand module, do you want to guess if you were to really master that module and take what you learn in that module to the marketplace and create a portfolio and begin to get clients? Do you want to know what you could sell brand name packages for in 2025? Do you want to know what you could sell a brand name package for? Take a guess in the comments. Because we got to remember, we got to understand, digital marketing is not a product. It is not an offer. It is not a business model. Digital marketing is a highly paid skill set. Okay? So a lot of people get in a tizzy as soon as they hear that there's resale rights to DBA. And they think it's something bad. It's not. It's like when you go buy a home, are you buying that home and saying you could never resell it? Of course not. You can resell your car if you choose to. right? So what is wrong with a course having that same option attached to it? Absolutely nothing, right? So I forgot what I was talking about, but I got to go in a few minutes anyway because I got to take my granddaughter to camp. And it's pouring rain and I don't have my umbrella with me. But I do have my hat here somewhere. I don't remember where I put my hat. Oh, I put it on the stool. Okay. So yeah, there's no refunds, and you check a box saying that, right? It is what it is. Okay. But DBA is an excellent opportunity to learn. You are very welcome. You're very welcome. If you're not following me, make sure you follow me, because I come on and I basically do master classes almost daily on TikTok, and then I actually upload them on to YouTube. And I love, you do follow me, awesome. I love the TikTok studio on my laptop, because then I can edit the video and I will make it into smaller videos, and then I will say, okay, I will go to ChatGPT. I use different, what do you call those, extensions, right? And so I have extensions that will summarize a YouTube video. You're getting the good stuff today, okay? So I will say, okay, now I want you to analyze this video and tell me where I can make cuts and make them into shorter videos. And because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those shorter videos, keyword optimize them, and I'm going to restream them on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on my Facebook business page, on YouTube. Do you see the power in that? And it's growing my YouTube. It's growing my YouTube. So there's nothing to say, like, I try to go live for an hour and a half when I go live on TikTok. I'm not going to make that right now because I got to go take my grandbaby, right? But the streaming software that I use, I can really only upload. I'm not paying for the higher plan. I do use a paid plan, and it's enough for what I need, right? So I don't take that hour and a half video and restream it. I might restream 20 minutes at a time. I might restream 40 minutes at a time. And it's growing my YouTube. And then from there, from the 40-minute segments that are categorized and keyword optimized and all that, I can make even smaller videos, right? I haven't done it in weeks and I need to get back to it. I go back and I know where I said something or where I got a lot of interaction, and I might make that into a 30-second TikTok, into a minute and 1 second TikTok with some really, like, where I dropped a bomb. Right? And that makes people follow me. That makes people, and then I'll put a call to action on that TikTok for people to, you know, for example, back in May when I was doing this a lot, to download the secret to winning at Pinterest when you're short on time. And so I'm growing my lead list for my Pin Profits Mastery course. Okay. So yeah. If you can't tell, I get excited about this stuff. Like, I love marketing. Like, marketing is my jam. It is what I do. You cut me open and marketing bleeds out. Like, I can't tell you how many people, they might not be excited about marketing, but they get excited for me about how excited I get about marketing. People who just, like, they, you know, and they even, I know people who've gone out and started and tried different businesses because they see how excited I get about marketing and the things that I do. So, you know, just be contagious, you know, be contagious. It's very refreshing to see that, you know, love and joy and ease and flow are starting to win again, because for so long it was just all the negative, and that people are back on hope. So I'm very, very excited about that. So I'm going to go because I got to go get my grandbaby and get her to camp. It is pouring rain outside too. I will probably come back live later. So if you don't, turn on notifications. If you have DBA, I do offer BPU, and BPU and DBA go together real bad. Real bad, as my girl Dej says. I love her. I love watching her content, right? So DBA is, I've explained to you, it's the master resale rights that gives you the tools and resources to build a digital products business, right? And then volume 2 is how to multiply it, the parable of the talents. Don't just bury it, make that money multiply, right? And what BPU is going to teach you how to sell. It's going to teach you threads. It's going to teach you searchability, like we've talked about. Okay, DBU, Matt and I have very similar training styles and background from corporate America. So I highly recommend BPU, Business Pro University. If you have not joined that, it's only $100, $25 with Klarna. Okay, so there's that. And if you have not gotten your affiliate link for the script, you can purchase the script through me as well. That is also on the link in my bio. So if you don't know what to say when you go live, you want to get the script. Okay, the script is how I made sales. It's like you just run the script, right? You run the script. It is very valuable, and it's going up to, I think, $98 on August 1st. You can get it for $40 now. So go to the link in my bio and you can get the script to know what to say when you go live. It's very beginner friendly. They have also added video training to it, and there is more training that is being added to it. So the price of that goes up to $98 in just a few days. So you want to get the script, okay? And I do have to go because I gotta go get my little punky pie and get her to camp. But thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks again. I'll look into BPU. I just joined DBA on Friday. Had no idea how to use it yet. Yeah. And so, I definitely do, like I said, my mentoring for DBA is more so like my content, like my lives, going live, right? You'll get so much value from my lives. Same with BPU, right? And then you can inbox me. I'm going to answer your questions in inbox, all right? I'm going to give you tools. I'm going to give you resources and give you support that way. So even if you didn't get DBA from me, if you get BPU from me, then that's how you get access to me and get help that way. And I'm actually looking at seriously considering starting a Telegram for those who have bought BPU, the script, DBA from me, where I can give you help, and we'll have things like a content check in there and support you that way, because no one is just being like a cold mean ogre, like you bought that, it's only $111, you want to talk to me, you got to pay me. No, it's not like that. It's really not like that. But it's also about how can I help as many people, because if I have hundreds of customers, which I do, giving each one individual time, I have to have some sort of barrier there. I have to. Okay. So I'm going to go. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.